Pero
Erica is having quite a start to her year. Sorry, long time no see. When you look at a player like that, who again is just like playing out of their mind, how do you game plan against someone like that? What's your method?
Yeah, she's playing extremely well. We have to be solid defensively. She's doing so many things really well. She's scoring, she's rebounding, she's running, she's defending. She's basically everything that they have right now that's keeping them all afloat. That's really the engine. She's the engine right now. So it's going to take all five of us. We want to make sure that we're paying attention to her. She rebounds the ball very well, and that's an area that we want to get better at. So we have to pay attention to her the entire game.
And then I don't know if you saw, but Brianna Stewart and the new league is starting in the winter. What are your thoughts on another opportunity for players to stay home and earn a paycheck and their setup in terms of the 3-on-3 and 1v1 and game players play that way?
Well, anytime you can have an opportunity to stay in America, to be home, it's big. And it's a league that they put a lot of thought into for it to be as big as it's possibly going to be, and to give the opportunity, like you said, it's another opportunity for people to still play the game in America. So I'm extremely proud of them and what they've done to create these opportunities.
Have you talked, have they approached you about coaching or anything? I don't know what the coaching setup is.
Have not. Have not.
Okay.
Have not.
There's such a focus on this rookie class and the transition to the league with these stars in particular. When it comes to Angel, how much do you think just her physicality has played a part in why she's having the success she is early on?
Angel's had learned a huge lesson from the very beginning of the season. If you could see the challenges that's been before her, the first 5 games that we played, it's been a tremendous challenge, but it's a young lady who's up for the challenge. She lives for the challenge. That's what's going to make her better. It's going to make her an even better basketball player in this league, because she's learning from everybody she's playing against. She's understanding the physicality of the game, the speed of the game. It's just a little bit different. But this young lady fears nothing. Angel fears nothing. And that's the biggest part right there, is the confidence level that she has in herself to go out there and get it done.
What have you seen out of Lindsay Allen as she continues to grow in your system and as a playmaker for you guys off the bench?
Pure point guard. She knows how to run a team. And the best thing about it is Lindsay is doing a really good job of getting everybody in the right places, running the right the plays that we would like to run. But also, she's also scoring for us. Incredibly aggressive defensively. I think everybody knows that about her. But it's the all-around game that I've really liked about what Lindsay is bringing to this team.
Also, with the communication that you guys have had, we've just seen the team be a lot more vocal on the court in between plays, and a lot more than what we've seen, I'd say from last year and moving on. Is that something that you really wanted to preach? Is just more vocality and communication this year?
Absolutely. Communication is key for us and for them to communicate with one another. They're playing the game. They have a feel for the game. And it's key that you see them out there talking to one another. That's growth and development. That's coming together. That's the chemistry that you want to see, the cohesiveness that you want to see. So you give them that voice. You give them that time. It's something I do in practice. I give them an opportunity to have a timeout in practice. And that timeout is to bring each other together and speak. And they do it now on the floor. So it's good to see. It's the growth and development that we want to see.
How do you assess Bill Harrison's last?
She's having a heck of a season, by coming back with what she's done to get herself back on the floor has been excellent. Nobody sees what happens behind closed doors. You don't really see that. You don't see the hard work that she's put in, the trust in her training that she's put into everything that she does. But when she stepped out on the floor, the smile that she had to be back on the floor was big for all of us. So she's getting her feet underneath her, get her legs back, her rhythm, her timing. So it's going to take just a little bit, but we're extremely happy to have her back because of what she brings, the athleticism, the ability to score, rebound, run, and defend. That brings a lot to us, especially with our bigs. To be determined.
Coach, you have 4 players on your team who were not able to play in the WNBA last season, making their comeback, which is extraordinary. How does your faith inform the way that you work with those players?
Well, I believe in every one of them. It's my job to show that there's a lot of trust and confidence in each one of them. You're on the team for a reason. You bring something very special for a reason. And that's the difference in many teams, is everyone's abilities are important to the success of the team. And they kind of know what it's like to be in this league. They already know, but now that they have the opportunity, they're taking full advantage of the opportunity and understanding what their fit is, and they're bringing it every single day. And that's what we want. We want them to come together, speak about the experience, speak about how it is to get here and then not have it and then have it back, and how you hold on to that. You know, that's big. That's a great lesson for everyone to pay attention to.
We'll go to Jordan on Zoom. Jordan, please unmute. Jordan.
Hey, Coach T. So I wanted to ask about Kennedy Carter. She's been great for you all off the bench, and you seem to have a lot of trust in her. Just talk about her game and what stands out.
She's probably the most talented player in this league. What she brings off the bench for us is an incredible level of talent, athleticism, speed, quickness, scoring, but she also will defend for us. You know, she does a lot as well in that regard. But Kennedy also is a willing passer. She knows how to create, and what she creates, she finds. She brings a lot to this team, and that's the energy we need coming off the bench with Kennedy.
And just for a quick follow-up, obviously the Sparks, they have two talented rookies of themselves in Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson. Just talk about what you like from them and what you are looking forward to tonight when you match up with those two girls.
Well, we pay close attention to what they do, and we want to make sure that we know what their tendencies are and make sure we take them away from what they do best. That's what any team would do. But they're doing a heck of a job for their team. But, we're focused in on what we have to do to make sure we're successful.
Thank you.
We'll go to Steven lastly on Zoom. Steven.
Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
Awesome. You?
I'm blessed. I had one quick question for you. Just obviously you played point guard and your calling card was on the defensive end of the floor. I was just curious, what's been your assessment of your guard group in terms of defense at the point of attack, and how have you felt this worked in conjunction with the front court to execute your schemes?
Well, yes, I was a point guard. Glad you noticed. Yes, I was on the defense side of the ball, but yes, I was also on the offense side of the ball. So that's a difference. That's a difference in the control factor. Point guards are in control on both ends of the floor. You control the defensive side because it starts with you. You control the offensive side because it starts with you. So that's an important piece as we're teaching, as we're growing, and they're learning how to do those things. So it's playing a huge part of how our guards, our PGs especially, are understanding what everybody do best, and we put them in those positions to be successful. That's the most important piece that a point guard has to do. How do you get everybody involved, and then how do you inject yourself?
Thank you.
We'll end with Chris in person.
You talk about football players that took me rough, players that gone through adversity and time. What will fans take away from their stories and kind of experience they went to get to this team?
Well, I don't know if you know the story. You have to know the story to know that person and know why they're working so hard and why it means so much for them to be back in that uniform. If you take a look at Diamond's story, that's a huge story. Take a look at Kennedy's, you take a look at Kaiser's. This is some huge stories that everybody need to take a look at, because there's some work being put in to get back. For someone to trust you, give you that opportunity to be back. And then when you get back, it's how you perform. What are you doing to make sure that what you bring is something very successful for this team? And then you're being consistent with it. And that's what we are with everybody that's back and playing the way that they're playing. It's absolutely wonderful to see. Those lessons, everybody just look at the basketball of things. You always pay attention to basketball, but no one ever pays attention to their why. There's a why of why they do what they do. So the why is the most important thing when they step between those four lines, and you hold them accountable to the why.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you all. Have fun tonight like me. I'm gonna have fun out there. There he is. Good.